Good morning, Allan.
Good morning, Miss Helen.
For the women who don't feel it and the weight, but they focus so much on the weight, what's happening here with these ladies? Like if they want to reduce, for example, 20 pounds, but the weight doesn't go down, how long does it take for them to have the weight move and still feel strong and, with lower body fat, more muscle mass, and visual fat go down?
If you're referring to having the ability to drop body fat so they can visually see their muscle tone a little bit better, then that boils down to the three that we've always talked about in terms of which one of the three body types are they. So every person is predominantly one of the three, right? So you have your ectomorph, which is just you in terms of like just being very skinny. You might gain a little bit of fat around your legs, maybe around your butt a little bit. But overall, when you have clothes on, people think you're just generally skinny, right? Then you have the exact opposite, which is people like me, which is an endomorph. And the moment we smell a chocolate bar, then we have 5 pounds on our butt. And when we gain everywhere, on our face, on our stomach, on our back, our legs, everywhere. Sometimes more in certain areas than others. For women, a lot of it's in their stomach or in their butt and legs. That's super common. But generally speaking, they tend to load everywhere, right? Then you got the last types where no matter what they do, they always have the broad shoulders and the thinner or smaller waist. So the shoulder to waist ratio is usually like this, even if they end up gaining 10, 20, 30 pounds, they'll still keep that frame because their bodies evenly distribute body fat throughout their whole body. And their body's very good at using the fat as a fuel source. So it'll burn fat faster than the endomorph, and sometimes even faster than the ectomorph, because the ectomorph can be skinny everywhere. But let's say they've got a lot of fat pockets around their butt, then their butt will sustain and store that weight. And then they have to do exercises that target that. But to answer your question, like what's a fastest way to generate results versus what?
I think I wanted to mention is what to have the women look, not just their weight, but if the rest of their numbers are making progress, right? But because there's so many women just focus on the number, the weight itself, and drains them, right?
Got it. Yes. Understood. Okay. So let's look at this in terms of a timeline. Let's say that somebody wants to give themselves, let's say it's 6 months that they want to work really hard to train, diet, to all that fun stuff. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these numbers represent months, okay? And if this is no progress, let's just say, I'll just wipe this down a little bit. And then let's say that this up here is lots of progress. So this is kind of like a scale, right? And what happens usually is in month number 1, most people go, and I've been guilty of this too, so I'm not pointing fingers. Most people go, okay, I've done my first month and I should see some progress. Well, in a lot of cases, they can see progress. However, if they're over 30, 40, 50 pounds or more, then there's usually a lot of excess weight that is still covering the muscles. So visually, when they look at themselves, they might feel like they're the same. And what they expect is that most people expect to do this. Well, here's month 1, here's month 6. So I should be able to go from 1 month to month number 6 and just progress. That's what most people think, right? What some other people think is, well, I should be able to progress, and I expect that I'm going to drop a little bit, and then I'm going to adjust myself, and then I'm going to go back up, and then I'm going to drop a little bit because I'll probably cheat on some of my meals or skip some of my workouts, and then I'm going to go back, and then I might drop again, and I'm going to go back up. So some people expect like this yo-yo effect, right? Now, which one is true? Both are. Both are. Why? Because at the beginning of this talk, we had said that every person has a slightly different metabolism or body type, which just means that everybody's body responds differently to the foods and the workouts that we do, right? Like if I give you a pizza and you eat the whole thing, you might see a couple of extra pounds on your butt, maybe, and on your legs, maybe, right? If I eat a whole pizza, my face starts to get as wide as it is tall, like a pizza. It just gets really round because I am carb sensitive. So they got to be aware, right? And for those people that are very carb sensitive, here's usually what happens. Month 1, they see very little progress. Month 2, they see a little progress, and then it kind of starts to do this. So it's kind of going up and down, up and down. Sometimes they have to be consistent and wait until month number 3, give or take. And then only after a few weeks or months of working hard and training and eating right and learning the recovery process, do they actually start to skyrocket in results. Sometimes they have to wait until month number 3 or 4 to see a major progression. Well, why? Why is that? Why is it that some people have to wait this long? From personal experience, not applying to everybody, but here's what I found. If someone grows older and ends up gaining a lot of excess weight, and I'm being respectful for this drawing. I want to say that up front because I don't want to come across rude. It's painful sometimes to talk about this stuff, especially for someone who's living it. So I want to say that up front. The biggest pain that I find for most females in this age group is that they're really upset when their body represents just being round in general, where they look at themselves and I'm like, Jesus, I'm just round. Or they're more like, not necessarily round, but more like pear-shaped. This is super common. Now, why am I bringing this up? I'm bringing this up because if somebody is in this stage where they've accumulated a lot of body fat, chances are is that they're still living their life at age 50 as somewhat similar how they did age 40, age 30, age 20. Now, why is that important? It's important because we're all creatures of habit, which is good. The challenge with habit is that our habits don't always keep up with our body's needs and requirements. A female who's 20 years old has very different physical, nutritional recovery requirements from a female who's 30 years old, right? From a female that's 40 years old. And that's just with age. Now you factor this in with the fact that somewhere between 20 and 30, usually, not always, but usually, they start to add in a couple of little babies. These are supposed to be babies. They look like hangers, I know, but they're little babies.
That's a couple. Some have 5 or 6, a dozen.
Okay, well, we'll cut it 4. Most people are like, maybe 2, 4 tops. Most people, right? The moment a female has kids, that changes their body completely. Hormonally and physically, completely. So now, what used to work at 20, let's just say what used to work at 20 is I'll watch my carbs, I'll eat very little, I'll eat clean, I won't do a lot of drugs or alcohol, right? But I won't work out that much. I'll work out a little bit, some walks here and there, maybe a little bit of push-ups. 20 works fine. 30 still works okay, but my hips are getting a little bit big, but I'll just eat less and I'll do more walks. Maybe I'll go on the treadmill and just walk it or jog it for 20 minutes, right? Doesn't work anymore. I just had 2, 3, 4 kids, but I'm still doing my lifestyle, my eating, recovery, workout lifestyle like 20, doesn't work anymore, right? Or more so, you're 40. And so time has really passed. Now the hormones from 20 years old are now drastically different from when you're 40 years old. And hormones have a direct connection, a direct impact on how our bodies respond to food, to recovery, to workouts. So now we have a decline in our hormones from 20 to 40. They don't fire off the way that they used to at 20 years old, but we're still doing activity and eating regimens like we were 20 or like we were 30. Doesn't work. So in a nutshell, this is a major reason why a lot of times people don't see faster results. It's because when you really boil it down, it's either A, they're doing things that used to work for them before, but doesn't work anymore. Or B, they're not keeping up with the demands of their body's needs at that particular age and that lifestyle.
Yes. Totally.
Or C, they're just not looking at the right numbers. I'll close off with this. I don't want to make this video too long, but this is super, super important stuff. Helen, you hit the nail on the head earlier when you were like, oh, they're just always looking at the weight, always looking at the weight.
Yes.
Weight is important, but you and I both know, you say, I've been talking this whole time. I want you to say, what's more important, looking at the weight or looking at the body fat and muscle percentage? Oh, you chimed out for a sec there. Are you back? Oh,
yeah, fine. That's fine. That's fine.
That's okay. That's okay. So let me ask you real quick, Helen, because you know this.
Yes.
What matters more, the weight or the body fat and muscle percentage?
Be honest, in the past, before I step into my fitness arena, it was always about the weight. And then I discovered it's never about the weight. It's about the body fat and muscle mass.
Correct.
Totally. That's the secret, right? So it's because look at those big bodybuilders. They look huge. They can be 300 pounds and they feel good. They look great, right? And
they're lean as hell and got muscles everywhere, right? Now, for the ladies, obviously, you watching this video, you're not trying to be 300 pounds. You're not trying to be like a walking wall. We know that. We totally understand.
Right.
Helen's example was just a representation that you could be 300 pounds.
Yes.
But if your muscle is high and your body fat is low, yes, you'll look like a Greek god.
I know.
Not everybody's looking for. But I mean, if you had to choose between the two, if you're going to be that heavy, would you rather look like a muscular Greek god, or would you rather look like what I used to go through, round? Yeah. No sexy in that, right? I did not feel sexy looking round. Looking in the mirror, round. I see photos, round. Everything about me, round. Oh, there's somebody in the mirror. I didn't realize that was a mirror, but I thought it was just some round looking guy in a tank top. Like, why are you wearing that tank top? You're way too round, bro. Oh crap, that's me. Oh, I had that realization the first time I ever gained too much weight. So I understand. Now the reason why that's so important is because of this. If we look at weight, all we see is a number, right? I'm just going to put 3 marks in there because you fill in the blanks. That could be 110, 120. That could be 200 pounds, 200, whatever the weight is. Well, this doesn't matter as much as the body fat to the muscle ratio. Why? Because our whole goal is to see muscles. They don't have to be big, they don't have to be large. But when Helen does her double bicep pose, show me your double bicep. There you go, nice and lean. Turn to the side, show me the back pose, show me your back pose. Like turn the back a little bit. Yeah, look at that. Boom! Look at that. Look at that. That is a representation of high muscle percentage to lower body fat. Not super low, just low. Like for you average about 21% body fat. Yes. So that's not super, like if you look at competitors, especially like the bodybuilder competitors, they're in the teens, 17, 16, 12%.
That's doing competitions, right? We always step up. But now,
right. So as the lady
with more muscles
video, then I don't want them thinking like, I got to be that low. No, 21% is all you need if your muscle percentage is dramatically higher.
Yes.
So Helen's muscle percentage when she's off stage, off competitions, she averages anywhere from 30 to 33%. When she goes on stage, we get her up to about 38 to 40%.
I know. That's so nice.
Yeah. So to lump sum of this video, folks, don't worry about the number. And that's why it takes more time to see, is because you got to make the switch from lowering the body fat to raising the muscle. So there's going to be a period of time where the number's not going to change because it takes time to lower the body fat, raise the muscle. And when it's doing it simultaneously almost, then during that 2, 3, 4 weeks, 2, 3 months, the weight stays about the same.
Yes.
But the way you look is better. The way you feel is better. your strength goes up. You look much more sexy or much more attractive in your dress or in that pair of jeans that you've been wanting to put on for so long, right? That's what matters most. You get these two numbers down pat, you get that right, this won't matter much at all. You just got to be patient to make that change happen.
Totally. Thank you so much. This is so important for all the ladies out there to recognize your body fat and your muscle mass plays a huge part in how you look, being lean and fit. So,
right.
yeah, thank you.